welcome to Lituation Room. What's good, everyone? It's your girl, Alicia B, and you are now in the place to be. Welcome to the Lituation Room. You already know it's season 3, so I'm going to give you like 5 seconds to go back and listen to the other episodes. Get caught up real quick. I got you. Go ahead. That was enough time. You should have gone back. Like, what are you doing? It's okay because after this episode, you can go back. It's fine. But today, we have to keep going bigger and better. I'm excited because I have the honor to be able to speak to a young man who has the voice of amazingness. I just need to figure out a new word because amazingness is just not giving it to me. And I'll figure it out by the end of the episode. But I'm going to let him introduce himself.
I love that. I love your intro. That was dope. Thank you so much for that. I really appreciate that. What's up, y'all? My name is Cedric Brazle. I'm an R&B artist. Really grateful to be here. Thank you for having me be on the Lituation podcast. I'm happy to be here.
All right. So y'all know, if y'all have been listening to this podcast, you know I'm a stan for R&B. So when anyone tells me that they're an R&B artist, I'm very skeptical. And then I have to start asking questions to see how true of an R&B artist you are. So would you say that you're a fanatic of R&B? Because I'm gonna test you.
Okay. I'm a fanatic for sure.
Okay. So the first question that I need to ask is probably the hardest question you're gonna get asked today.
Okay.
Top 5 R&B artists.
Ooh.
Of all time. So it can be any era. I'm not giving a era time.
Top 5 of all time. Okay. I gotta put Sam Cooke in there. Like, I can't be disrespectful. Like, he's one of my all-time favorites. I gotta put Donny Hathaway in there. I got to. Michael Jackson, of course, even though it's like borderline, but Michael Jackson.
He's fine. He's in there.
Like Usher, for sure. Usher gotta be in there for me. And Brandy for my female option. I think she's in my top 5 for sure. I got to. All 5 of them are special.
Okay, so you passed the test a little bit, but it's okay. Right. We got the whole episode to go through it. So we're going to get back to that a little later. I just wanted to give them a taste of who the inspirations are and who you've been listening to. Yeah. So let's get into you. Okay. You're a Jacksonville native, period.
Yes, I am.
So shout out to all the Florida people.
Turn up.
I hope you're doing well, you know, because Florida's a little...
Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. They try to make us look crazy. Don't believe the hype. Like it's not as bad as people make it out. Okay. It's not.
I'm gonna take your word for it.
Please.
Okay. Do you think that Jacksonville influenced your artistry so far, and how? If it did, how so?
Great question. I think definitely it did. I look at Jacksonville. It's like 30 minutes away from Georgia, so it really has that southern influence more so than having a Florida, or I guess South Florida influence that you would think is Caribbean more so. So I came up around a lot of real like R&B soul music, a lot of gospel music, a lot of, really rap music in its core. So I definitely think that environment and just being around the essence of where I was, it influenced me definitely because of just my terrain. That makes sense.
Right. And I've never been to Jacksonville, and I know each area has its own regional like vibe and music, because the DMV music is completely different than, Houston music. So how would you say that Jacksonville's music scene sounds like?
We're really big on the scene, like the T-Pains, the Boosies, that vibe, like that southern. I don't even know what to call it, but like that's just that southern music. Truthfully, like in real R&B music, like real soul singers, because back in the day, Jacksonville used to be a part of something called the Chitlin Circuit, which is like the tour stops for like real soul and black artists. So it was one of those places where soul was derived from, and artists like Ray Charles and people like that were impactful in the city. So
love a good Ray Charles.
Gotta
give it to him.
Got to.
Everyone says they're R&B, but what lane of R&B do you feel that you fit into? Because there's different lanes of R&B, especially with right now and the 2010s to 2020s era. R&B is completely different than how 90s 80s R&B sounded. So what do you feel like influenced you the most, and where do you see your sound fitting in a little bit more?
I think I've always strived to do like music that like it's nostalgic but still is forward thinking, and I think that's what's most important to me. Like a lot of people, because I don't classify my own music in a genre or a sound, but a lot of people tell me that like my music is nostalgic of 90s, but it can still fit in today, and that's something that I'm really happy about. But it's also something I want to progress in my artistry and in my craft. I want to be able to develop into a sound that's like tomorrow. That's what I always tell people when I work with them. I always want to make a sound that's like progressive and not set in one era, something that can be played in 1950 and something that can be played in 2080. So, you know.
I feel like that's the most important, because you want it to give that vibe. Because I feel like if you're giving a nostalgic vibe, you're going to be able to hit more people. And the more people that you hit, the more that your music resonates. And I think that's the whole purpose of music, is to resonate with somebody.
Right.
So obviously music resonated with you, clearly, because now you're an artist. So what was that spark that was like, okay, this is what I want to do for the rest of my life, and music has to be it?
Music was never foreign to me. When I grew up, my two grandpas and two of my grandfathers were in a band. They played in the band, and my uncle was signed to Sony as a calypso artist. So music was always around me. It was always something that, I was always immersed in it. So my family, like, that's just what my family is about. So it was never anything foreign, but I always sang growing up, but I knew I wanted to do it when I saw, like I said, like the artists like the Ushers and people that looked like me doing it, and having relatable stories. Like I grew up on Chris Brown, of course, as being like the R&B artist of my generation, like where I grew up. But having them stories and having somebody be like, wow, they've gone through some of the things I went through. Because like the first album that he went through, I feel like it's my life story. I feel like I went through all those things, you know what I'm saying? So like, and I wanted to do that I just want to do that for younger guys growing up too. I want people to be like, wow, somebody understands me. Just people in general, not just young guys, but just somebody to be able to look at you and be like, wow, they understand me. Like I'm not alone in this world. Somebody gets, my perspective. And that's been really important to me. And that's how I connected with music. So to do that for somebody else would really it's my true goal.
So let's get into this EP.
Yeah.
If I Knew Then. Why the title?
Because I've made some decisions in relationships and love that I feel like they weren't necessarily the best. And if I knew then the things that I know now, I wouldn't have made those decisions, and I would have came out a little bit differently, and I wouldn't have made the mistakes that I made. And I just would have looked at it completely differently than the outcome.
And you definitely get that vibe on the tape. So let's go with the first song. So wait, before we get into the first song, do you remember the order that you wrote them?
For the most part, yeah.
So what was the first song? And then we'll go from there.
The first song was Mixed Feelings.
Okay. You already know how I feel about Mixed Feelings, so that's great. Okay, so let's talk about it. What was the thought process? What sparked you to write this song, if you feel comfortable talking about it?
For sure. Well, at the time we had this record, this beat from this producer named Twitch, and I have a song called Till the Morning. I had to release that like a year prior to even working on this Mixed Feelings, and I just sat with that beat for a while, and I just want to get some people together to write with me, because I'm not normally like a group writer. Like I usually do write by myself, or I'll get one other person to like vibe with. So I want to try something different. I really wanted to write about the space I was in, which was like being in a relationship and being like confused, in the sense where it's not something that's good for you, it's toxic, but it's like you don't allow yourself to leave it because there's something about it that fulfills you, or you think it does. And it's just that crazy cycle of like, I should leave or should I stay type energy. And I think everybody's gone through that, where you're fighting your head and your heart. And that's honestly what the song really is about, that conflict, and not knowing which way to go with it.
Right. And I definitely got that, because when I've been in that situation, so I was like, first of all, I didn't need you to speak so loudly, sir. Like, I needed you to not
do that. I love that.
That was very rude. And then I saw the video, and I was like, oh, so now you're being disrespectful to me, because now you're really calling me out. So with the visual, were you the one that came up with the concept, or did you work with your team to figure it out? How was the whole process of creating the visual?
My team, Imperium Entertainment, and also the director, Gabe Sheffield from Perspective Productions. We just came together, we met, and honestly, we had already had the theme for the song. We actually filmed the music video a year prior to dropping it, so we had already had it. And we came with all these concepts, and we filmed that music video, honestly, with another music video. They were conjoined together. We had planned out each piece of it, and it was just days and days of shooting. So it was honestly one of the dopest things I did. And we spent like a month, like putting all the pieces together for both music videos, and just trying out different things and getting scenes that really made you feel like coldness and heat and confusion and disarray and all those things. You're trying to find ways to piece that imagery together of warmth and coldness together. And yeah, that's what that means. Like the junkyard really represented like this dark, like gray, not really like, hard, harsh area. But then you have the areas like with like the sun, and it's like warm, and you have fire and all those things that like contrast that, and they're like bring a different, aspect and vibe to it, in contrast with the grim of the Junkyard.
I feel like there's an aspect that the regular audience who is not really into music industry wouldn't really take that and like look at it deeply as a person that understands music and the craft. So what part of music do you think is your favorite, whether it's the writing, whether it's laying down the melody or the harmony, or is it coming up with the rollout and how the music video is going to work or the way that it's promoted? What do you think that your favorite part of the process is?
My favorite part is the creating process. I love being in the studio and the creating process and the performing process. The business aspect and the planning is cool and all, but you know, that's not really like my favorite part. My favorite part is like being in the studio, writing the music, hearing the melody for the first time, hearing the beat for the first time, and like, what can we go with this? People are gonna really like this, and like, you know, and like coming up with something that you feel like is truthful and relatable, and that's my favorite part. I love being in the studio even now, so I'm still excited to. I've been writing since the project, and before the project even came out, I've been writing. So I'm just excited to create and hear sounds because I love that part of it. Love it.
In this time period where a lot of times Black males are kind of seen as don't be vulnerable, like don't talk about your feelings. But now you have to make this music that resonates with people. So you have to pull from something. So what are you going to pull from? Thin air? So how do you feel about giving that vulnerability and having literally your soul be out in the world for these 6 tracks?
I like how what you said like about being a Black male, because that's really important. Like I feel like that demographic itself in today isn't something that is like prevalent in R&B. Well, you know, you have your Black male artists, but like there's nobody like, you know, on that stratosphere that we're used to them being on in, you know, in this generation. And I think that is really the reason why I feel like there's nobody there, because I have a lot of friends and I have a lot of guy friends, and I've experienced and seen them go through things. So I know that these things are real. I know these situations happen. I've always felt like this. I've always felt like these stories have to be told, because it's kind of like, if they're left out, what are you doing? You know, what are you leaving for the next generation of music lovers, and for the next artist or the next R&B artist, male artist who's growing up today that wants to tell these stories? Like, there can't be that gap. Like it's a very needed thing. People like Marvin Gaye, they were doing it. Sam Cooke was doing it. All the artists in the 90s were doing it. All our favorite singers that were still vulnerable, but they still were allowed to be man at the same time. And I think that's important. That juxtaposition is very, very important. And I think it's still allowed. It still can be allowed.
Right. And that's why I feel like you can tell what influence an artist has. Like Luke James gives his feelings in every last song, whether it's about sex or whether it's about him crying, he will give you his emotions. And that's why I know that he was influenced by, you know, older artists and older R&B. So that's why I'm very excited for a generation of just artists in general, like Black artists, to put their soul into music. Because I feel like we go through so much. And not being a Black man, I know Black women go through a heck of a lot of stuff. So I'm very excited for this generation to finally, you know, get to a point of being so vulnerable that you can literally sit and hear a song and start to like envision your life in it. Yes. So the reason why I'm bringing that up is because Breathe is also like that, where you where I very much envisioned how you felt or how the song conveyed to me.
Yeah.
So I want you to talk about Breathe and what was the whole overall thought process when you were writing it.
I love that. Breathe was ultimately, like you saying, putting yourself in that position. And it's a song that's just about an argument. And I feel like, I mean, that's going to happen. And I feel like knowing how to navigate through that, because it's in the end of the day in the song, it says about war. It says, next time when we argue and we put ourselves to war, because I hate putting myself to war, and just let me breathe. Like, let me take a step back and let me go, you know, find my thoughts and get myself together, because at the end of the day, arguments are fine, but you have to know how to progress past that. And in their real life situation, I don't think in the real life situation where the song is based off of, I was at the point where I was just like, okay, you heard me go through the confusion. You heard in the prior tracks, you heard me go through and say, okay, all these things about like not allowing love to be at a certain place. But this point was like, let me go away from into myself and see what I want for myself and see what's missing in myself to allow to play this game with myself. Like, I know I'm not supposed to be here. Why am I having that revelation but not leaving? And that's what Breathe is for. Like, finding that clarity of why haven't I left yet?
I talked about this in another episode where album sequencing is so rare nowadays. And I feel like the music that I connect to, or the albums that I connect to in a general and projects, are the ones where you can clearly see a story happening.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that with each song, there's like the continuation of like what's going on. So Human is literally, you know, coming to the realization of, okay, actually I need to get the fuck. And I need to just let all this go, and I don't really care what's happening. Let's talk about Call and Human, and we can just go into the transition of both of them.
Okay. Call was just really funny. It's a real situation. It's not as, I think I've had many different reactions to that song, because like, to me, it's one of the songs that stands out as far as the concept of the project and the just the perspective. And I think it's one of those things where, you know, you get tired of a situation, which I'm not saying is right to do. You get tired of a situation and you just want to find something that fulfills you, that isn't what you just recently had. So that song's about moving to that, and then crossing over into Human, which is honestly one of my favorite songs in the entire project. I think it's just finding clarity. It's like keeping it real, like not sugarcoating anything, and saying this is over and I'm okay with it, but these are the things I have to get off my chest before this is done. It's closure. Like, this is my closure. And I think, which I never really got in real life, but it's, in my perspective, I think it's one of those things that this is how I really feel, and this is what I would say, even though I truly didn't get closure in my real life, but in the song, that's what I would have said.
Speaking of the song, are you ready? Are you ready to sing?
Which one you sing?
You know which one I want you to sing.
What?
I feel like you should just give them a little taste of your favorite song. Okay, I'll leave it up to you, because what I want you to do, and I feel that today.
What is it? What you want me to do?
I want to mix feelings. You already know how I feel. But, you know, if you want to go, whatever song feels your vibe, let's just get like a few seconds
I got you.
of like the chorus or something, just for the people.
I'll do the chorus of Mixed Feeling that I just released, the version I just did, live version, instead of like, oh, there you go again, messing with my head again, acting like my medicine. I can't pretend, can't ignore the energy. This is what you do to me. Oh, yeah. That was a little piece, just a little piece, freestyle. Give you the chorus, and then I gave you the first verse, but we gonna.
First of all, them runs. Child. I don't know. When I hear runs, I get very particular, because it's like, are you hitting every note in there? Does it sound effortless? Right, I'm trying to piece it together. Is it effortless? Am I seeing you strain your voice while you do it? And it's just like, yes. I just want to go like this.
It's so hilarious, yo. Love it.
All right, so we gonna play my favorite song, my favorite game.
Okay. Ooh, I love games. I love this.
We're gonna play Song Association. So I'm gonna give you a word.
Okay.
I'm not gonna be as generous as Terrell gives 10 seconds.
10 seconds is great.
He's actually giving 11 now for the pandemic.
That's good.
I feel like as an artist, as an artiste, you should be able to do.
No.
There's no 7.
No, 7. Oh my God.
You'll be fine.
Oh God. Okay.
We gotta up the ante, up the stakes here, you know?
I really want to do good at this, so I really want to do good. So I'm trying to clear my mind. Okay.
All right, I'm gonna give you a few seconds before I give you the word.
Okay, I'm ready.
All right, the first word is dangerous. Real easy.
Oh, okay. I'm in love with you. You set me free. Can't do this thing life without you with me. 'Cause I'm dangerously in love with you. I'll never leave. Just keep loving me the way you're loving me. Yeah.
See, easy 1 for 1.
So far.
Okay. Let's. Should I be nice?
Yeah.
Well, now that you said that, I'm gonna be mean. Let's go for a hard one.
Oh God.
See, all the words that I'm thinking in my head are very easy. Okay. Let me think. Let me see. I have an arsenal of words here.
Okay.
I'm just going through the list. Let's do deep.
When we go deep in it. Yeah.
First of all, that's not even what I was thinking, but yes, you are passing the R&B test. Hold up. Oh, I have to listen to that song later. That was disrespectful.
I love that song. I love that song.
Oh my God. Okay. Okay, so I know what song I want you to sing for this one, but I'm gonna see what you're gonna sing. The word is lady.
Sweet lady, would you be mine when you need me? Just call and receive me.
I wasn't even thinking that song, but I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. I was thinking Lady Lady by Masego.
Ooh, see, I wouldn't see, that was too intricate. See, my mind automatically goes to like 2000s, early 90s automatically.
That's fine. That's fine. Give the people what they want. That's what they wanted.
I got you.
Okay. No, that's too easy. I need to be stopped. Okay. Since we're singing songs, the word is song.
Oh, we're alone now, and I'm singing a song to you. Oh yeah, that was a good one. I'm glad I thought of that one though, because I wouldn't have. That was the hard one. Songs hard.
I wasn't even thinking of that song. I was thinking My Song by her, but that was it.
Ooh, see,
that was
I gotta do better. I gotta do better with the current R&B because I'm like.
No, you're good. You're good. Give them the oldies. They've been missing it.
Sorry. God.
Okay. I think I'm gonna give you one more word because I feel very offended that you've been getting all of them.
Jesus.
Now I have to figure out a word that just.
Oh.
None of these words are giving me. They're not giving me. Let me look at my wall.
God.
I have to see what I can give the people. Oh, you said that you listened.
I listened, but I listened. I did.
Okay, let me not do that to you because I definitely was about.
Jeez.
Okay. I'll be nice. You should be able to do this one easy. The word's honey.
Dang. Honey. Like only because it's obvious words. I feel like I can't even think of anything. I was gonna think of an Usher song because he says honey and sugar a lot. And I was like, I don't got no time for that. So let me just find something quick. And I was
thinking of Honey by Kehlani.
Oh, I love that song. I haven't heard
how I feel about my wife, so
I love Kehlani.
Exactly what I was thinking.
I love everything she's releasing lately. It's really, 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 really dope.
Oh no, yeah. Let's get into that. Who has been your favorite release? It doesn't even have to just be R&B, but like, what was your favorite release of this year so far?
This year so far, besides B7, because I think that was like a great, just R&B, like heavy tune. I'm trying to think this year, because there's been so much R&B this year. It's been crazy.
It's been too much.
It's been a lot. It's been a lot. I'm really enjoying, like, I listened to a little bit of Giveon. I love his vibe a lot. I've really been listening to, I'm excited about Ty's project. I'm going to just drop Ty.
I haven't listened to it yet.
I'm excited about that.
I don't know how I feel about it.
I think it's going to be dope. Ty, he never really lets people down, so I'm excited about that. I love just his vibe is really fire.
I like his features.
I think then you're probably going to love that album. You probably love the album.
That's why people keep telling me to listen to, but we'll see.
You'll probably love it. It's Ty.
We'll see.
I liked the Bryson's project. It was good. The new Bryson project was good. I'm trying to think who really released this year. Kehlani's album was really good. Did something release this year or was that last year?
That was last year.
Oh, darn. Because that was a great album. Like, if I could just throw that in for honorable mention, Summer Walker's album was phenomenal. Like, so I definitely, and her new record, Damage, I love it. Like,
Damage is so good.
It's very good. That's what I needed. From her. Like, I think she's great. Snow, everything. I love. I'm dying for your love. Like, I love like that whole thing. Like, Snow is like, ugh. So yeah, I've really been vibing with R&B this year. It's been really, really good.
I think my top 3, because I can just send them off back. Obviously, Chloe and Halle's project, the whole album. Album, ridiculous. Nope, you can't. Nope, you can't go back. You can't go back.
That was a great album. That was a great
album. Very much needed. That I loved that. It was all about their maturity level.
Like, the change in direction.
Yeah, that was fire.
Crazy.
And the whole rollout of it.
Yeah,
superb.
fire. Yeah, it was definitely great. Class act.
Spillagin by Spillage Village.
Okay, I listened to that.
What? You don't know
I listened to that.
Okay, so Spillage Village is like Earth Gang, Mariba, Jid, like all them.
Oh, I didn't know
made
that.
An album.
Oh, I didn't know that.
It's like a whole bunch of people all up in
Okay.
it. It's real good. Real
It's
good.
good? Okay.
And then who did I just say? Who did I just have in my? I'm hitting Kehlani's honorable mention because I didn't want to do that.
Though.
I didn't want to do that. Everybody knows that I love Kehlani. But I think Givion's project.
Yes, project. Yes.
The fact that he got co-signed by Brandy on Genius.
He did. I saw that. That was dope. Like I think he's
yes.
amazing. He's amazing.
So I want y'all to do a song together. So we're just gonna put that in the atmosphere.
We're gonna put that out there. That'd be dope. Having like his low, my high, but I'm a baritone too, so that'd be fun. But my low and his high would be dope. That'd be massively dope. I would love to work with him. Very interesting.
Okay, so who would you want to work with? So we're just putting all of it in the atmosphere, so I could just put this episode out, and then when it happens, I could be like, boom, listen to here.
Her, I would love to work with her. I think she's one of my top people that I want to work with. Her, Snow Allegra. I want to work with them massively. Of course, I want to work with the greats. You know, I really want to work with Drake. That's like huge for me. I want to work with Party Next Door. I think that would be flames for me. I think it should be great for me. What else is there?
I'm just mad he don't be singing live right.
I just like the music. He just released
the music's good.
It's great. It's great. I love everything about him. I'm trying to think who else is out here. Producers wise, I would love to work with Pharrell and Neptune, Timbaland, Rodney Jerkins, all of them, like the greats. Rick Rubin. I don't want to just, all those, those, top tier.
I literally just realized how many songs Neptune has produced. It's been ridiculous. Let alone Pharrell has just taken over. And you can clearly hear, what songs he makes because of his signature. Yeah. But Neptune as a whole, I didn't realize how much they took over the 2000s. Like that was their era. And they're still making things. And it's just, when I think of music, it's very hard to, as a person looking from the outside, it's very hard to remember that there's producers and there's songwriters who typically sometimes they're not even in the credits.
In fact,
they're just now these days are getting credit for music songwriting and for producing. So do you feel like that would also be a lane that you want to get into, or did you just want to, stay focused on being in the spotlight?
I think eventually I definitely would love to do that. I love writing, so that's something I really love. But I think honing my sound first. But I would love to write for other artists and do that. I think that's a passion of mine, writing, period. But I think at this current time, it's just developing myself and seeing what things work for me and what things don't, so I can solidify what sound I want to have.
Right. And with COVID and everything, obviously you talked about the fact that you've done live performances on YouTube, which y'all should go and listen to.
Yes, please check that out. Run that.
The fact that you haven't done it yet is just like ridiculous.
Crazy.
But what have you and your team been working on to, keep the music relevant and, create the rollout that your project deserves, even though you can't go and do live performances right now? Right.
Making sure we give people the music in the most authentic way. I think being authentic is like the spearhead now, because like you said, it's a little different. The playing field is different, but I love that. I love that a lot of indie artists are on the same playing field as these bigger artists. So it's like, you just have to know how to play the game. And I think giving people the experience of the music in multiple ways is really what I enjoy. I love giving people the music and then being able to give it to you in the live experience. And I would hope that the live experience, you're like, wow, that was way better than, the record's great, but the live performance is, and that's something that is important for me, to be able to give you the experience where you could feel it and touch it the best way we possibly can in these circumstances, you know what I'm saying? Just so that it can keep feeding to you. And that's why I'm really proud of the work we've been doing and how we've been delivering it to people in different ways, so it doesn't seem redundant and it doesn't seem, played out, because you've heard it.
Okay, so let's shout out the team real quick in case there are some artists who would love to be connected. Let's give a shout out to the team.
Shout out to the team: DeAndre, Chrissy, Dinah, Fabian, Gabe, everybody, Imperium Entertainment. Yeah, stand up. Y'all check
all right,
out.
So if there's one thing that you could tell yourself before you started making music, what is that one thing that you would want to say?
Don't hold back. Say what you want to say. And I think that was important for me because before I released this project, I had like a few years ago, I released like a little mixtape, which actually like got something back then.
Not
like
a little mixtape. You had a lot of views
yeah,
from
yeah.
videos that came out off that.
So it's like and the music then before I was like being really raw, and I took some of the music down, but it's like it was really raw. And it was me introduced, but it was great music. It was just me being raw and saying everything I thought about my relationships, even if it was harsh, and that helped me in my writing today to learn how to like express myself, like, you know. And this one is less explicit than the music I used to make, but I needed that phase so that I can know how to like say what I want to say in a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I always tell myself to don't hold yourself back. Like, say what you feel, and people's feelings, that'll heal. Say what you want to say and say your truth.
Okay. That's probably going to be hard. This is going to be the last part that we're going to do for this episode. Okay. So for people who have watched this whole interview, have listened to things, but, you know, this is their first introduction to you. Okay. What can you say is one word or one phrase that encompasses you and your artistry?
Okay, yeah. Okay, a word that encompasses my artistry is vessel. That's an important word for me because I always call myself a vessel of like music, a vessel of rhythm, blues, soul, you know, just period of music, not even just a genre. But because like I said earlier, I feel like my purpose, I feel like on this earth is to be the vessel of the human experience. It's my job to make music that highlights that and allows people to be like, somebody understands me, somebody gets me, I'm not alone in this world. And that's my main thing, whether it be high or low, no matter how big or small I am in this music thing, I just want to be able to touch one person. And as long as I can do that and be a vessel of that for somebody, then I've done my job. And I just want to always have music that is authentic and real, and, you know, it's true to that human experience.
Well, I can say that your music has touched me, and I don't say that often. We've had this conversation.
Yes, we have.
So you are doing great, and I'm very excited to see where you and the team are going to go next. I'm very excited. So if you're ever on tour and we get away from this
just hit me up.
You hit me up.
I'm trying to come to the show.
You let me know.
Slide.
Because, you know, the DMV needs it. Wherever it's at, I'll fly.
We need it. I'm ready. Ain't no problem with that. Let's do it.
All right, so let everyone know where they can find you and keep up to date with everything that you are coming out with.
Yo, y'all can follow me everywhere at CEDRICBRAZLE. That's Cedric Brazle on every streaming platform and every social media network. Make sure y'all check me out. My debut EP, If I Knew Then, is out now. Make sure you cop that, listen to that, and stream it nonstop.
Yes. And if you haven't seen on Instagram, if you actually buy it, it does better. It like has more streams, you know?
Facts.
And it's like an outrageous amount of streams. So, you know, support. Easy. It's cheaper than you getting Starbucks coffee.
Really is. And it's music.
And you can listen to it again. It's crazy, y'all.
It's crazy.
But okay, let me drop our ways that you can stay up to date with any episodes that we have coming out. You can follow us on Instagram at The Lituation R Pod, or over on Twitter at The Lituation RMP. Or if you're just lazy, you can go to our website, www.thelituationroompodcast.co, and everything and anything is there. Stay up to date with us because we have so much more coming for you guys. Thank you so much, Cedric, for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
For allowing it.
Seriously.
And I will see you guys in the next episode.
That was dope.